Hello there and welcome back to Trinity Stamps. Today we're going to take a look at our entire release for August 2023. We have Halloween things, fall things, back to school and teacher related products in stamps, dies, stencils, and we have a brand new tool. So let's jump right in. First we're going to look at our stamps. This is a 4x3 stamp set called Influential Teacher, designed by Love Danny. So we're adding to our collection of Love Danny stamps. You can see that the sentiment and the artwork is all in one image, and it's just the cutest. And I love this sentiment. I think it's really fun. The influence of a great teacher can never be erased. There is colored, and you're going to see some cards with it in just a moment. But I wanted to show you this die set. It's the cool clipboard, has a die in it that cuts out the pencil from this set. So I just wanted you to know that. We'll take a closer look at the cool clipboard in a little bit in this video. And next we're going to look at another stamp that goes with that cool clipboard called Mini Notebook Paper. So you can see this is going to stamp out the vertical and horizontal lines for a piece of notebook paper. And there's a die that cuts out a little piece of paper that fits this stamp perfectly and fits on that clipboard. So what you can do is die cut out the paper, stamp the lines in some turquoise and kind of pinkish ink, and create your little notebook paper. It is so darn cute. And there you can see it on a couple cards from our designers. Next we have our Caught My Heart 4x6 stamp set. This is a two-piece stamp set with a coordinating die set that has a really cool feature. So here you can see that two-piece stamp set, the large web with the heart in the middle and the spider, which is a separate stamp. There's a die to cut out the spider, but there's also two other dies in the set that allow you to die cut a spider and have a shadow layer for it. Here you can see the spider web stamped and embossed with black and the spider stamped out as well. So now we'll go ahead and die cut out that spider. The die is going to fit nicely right around the edge of the spider, just like that. Next, let's look at the dies that are going to be our kind of standalone dies, where you can die cut out the spider and have a shadow layer for it if you like, but you can use the spider by itself too. So the shadow layer looks like it would probably be the same exact size as the die that cuts out the spider, but it is a tiny bit bigger. So you can also layer it behind your die cut spider. So you've got plenty of options with this set, which I love. I love options. So there you can see all the pieces to that set and some cards our designers have made to show this set off. It's so fun for Halloween and just really cute as well. All right, next up is a pretty stamp set, Little Leaves. This has 29 stamps in it and a die to cut out every single leaf in this set. So these leaves are going to be able to create backgrounds or borders or maybe even a wreath, and you can use them as accent pieces when stamping your fall and Thanksgiving related cards. I've stamped this out in several colors so you could get the idea of, you know, either stamp it in black and color it or stamp it with colored ink on colored paper and make some pretty shades of fall leaves without having to color. So you can do either, and the dies cut them out very nicely. And here's a card designed by Cassie, so you can see those leaves die cut out on this really pretty and simple card. Next up, we have a 4x6 stamp set called Sketchy Florals, and the stamp in this set, that big image that's very hand-drawn looking, it is approximately 3.5 inches by 4.5 inches. There is this beautiful die to cut it out. It's going to cut not only the outer edge, but some of the little openings around the flowers. The sentiment, "Thank you," has two dies, so you can die cut out those words separately and arrange them however you like on your card. There is a sub-sentiment that says, "You brighten my day." Here you can see that image colored and die cut out. It is so fun to color and so beautiful. And there's so many different ways that you can color it with markers, Copics, watercoloring, watercolor pencils, no line coloring. You can use that stamp to make a background on your card. It's a really beautiful set. Our next stamp set is a 4x8 set and has a coordinating die set. It's the Spooky Silhouettes stamp set. There are 28 stamps in this set, and they are all solid or silhouette images, so you can stamp these out and create a spooky little scene. You can also stamp them and cut them out with the coordinating dies. There is a die for every single stamp in this set, and here let's take a look at what they look like stamped out. You've got tombstones of all different sizes, trees, bats, birds, a jack-o'-lantern, a black cat, eyes. It's a really cool set. Again, one you could use standalone, or a set you could use in conjunction with maybe some things you already have. So here you can see it die cut out, or you can see it stamped out, so you can use it either way. All right, next up we have another 4x8 set. This is the beautiful bare trees. So these are just bare trees, and they have extra little images, little leaves, a bird, some mushrooms that you can stamp on the trees or around the trees. There's also a grassy border, or it could be fallen leaves, and the sentiment, wishing you a beautiful season. And there are dies to cut out all the things like we like to do, even a die that bubble cuts around the sentiment. Here you can see the 3 largest trees on a 5x7 piece of paper, and the smallest tree stamped and die cut out, as well as the sentiment. So these trees vary in sizes, which allows you to create lots of different scenes with different sized trees or different sized cards. There is a coordinating stencil for this, and we'll show you that when we get to the stencil part of this video, so you can see how you can really fill in this tree and not limit yourself just to fall. All right, next up we have new Simply Sentimental sets. This is Simply Sentimental Teacher, and we have all of our favorite fonts to spell out the word teacher, and then great sub-sentiments. You're an A+, you rule, thank you for your great year. So a great set you can use for any time of the year for teachers. And we have dies that will cut out all of those large teacher words. And then there's also dies in the die set to die cut out those same fonts. And so you can use the die set 100% standalone. Of course, you can use the stamp set standalone, or you can pair them together. So here you can see the stamped and die cut words, and now we'll look at them on some cards. I think that this is a really fun set that you can use throughout the year. All right, next up we have Simply Sentimental Thankful, and we have the coordinating die as well. So you can see there are the same fonts in all of our Simply Sentimental stamp sets. So you can mix and match them together, which I love, and they all have great supporting sentiments in a nice typed font. So you can stamp the large thankful and the sub-sentiment with it. And I love this one that says, thankful for your business, for your service, for your generosity, for your friendship. Some really cool sayings in there besides the typical ones you would think of like for Thanksgiving. All right, so there you can see stamped and die cut out. And then we're going to also do the die cut sentiment. So you can see how they're different, but also the same. So you can just stamp them or you can die cut them. The choice is up to you and what works best for your card. I like to die cut these letters with a piece of paper backed with our rip and stick paper or adhesive sheets, and that's going to allow me to very quickly and easily put these words together. Very cool. All right, see the little bump there on the letter? That happens because I added the adhesive, and it makes it a little thicker and pushes the paper through the opening in the die. So you just take our burnishing tool there and you can rub it with the back side and it'll go away like it was never there. So there's some samples from our designers. So you can see this Simply Sentimental in action. Next up is Witchcrafting. This 4x8 set I am sure is going to be a crowd favorite. It is so cute. There is a little witch and she is crafting. She's at her craft table. She's got scissors, and we've got the whole room there for you, and little extra things you can add to her table, and of course some punny sentiments. With paper and glue while drinking a caffeinated brew, I made this wicked cute card for you. But there are dies to cut the words apart, so you don't have to use the whole sentiment. You can piece it together. There's also dies in this set that allow you to make a window frame, cut out or not a window frame, a picture frame, and then allow you to cut out the window. You can cut the witch away from the scene if you want. That allows you to maybe pop it up or use it separately. It's just got some really cool options. So let's take a look at some of those. This is the die that cuts out the picture frame. So you can die cut that separately and paper piece it over the top. There is this die that can cut out the window, or you can use it to cut out like a blue piece of paper and tuck it in the window so it looks like it's going outside. There is a little rectangle die to make a separate piece of paper for her table, and dies to cut out pebbles as well. So here you can see the rest of the things die cut out. You can separate the saying, like I said, and only use 2 parts of it, or use 3 parts together. And then you also have sending you a little witchcraft for my extra special crafty friend. So I know you guys are going to love this one and send it off to your friends that also love crafting like we do. All right, so there's the picture frame. You can see what that looks like. And here's the little piece you can do for the window. And we have another little diamond die. The smallest one is the extra piece of paper you can add to the table. And here's all those pebbles, and they work nicely paper pieced on top of the pebbles that are already there, but you can also use it to build your scene. They don't have to be on the wall. So yeah, the choice is up to you. Options, right? Yeah, so there we have it, and we have some amazing samples by our design team. So check these out. I love to see all the different ways people have colored this, from the earthy tones to the bright and cheery. This one has it all die cut out away from the scene. I love this dark glowy card. So much fun. Next up, we have our last stamp set, Fabulous Foliage. Now this comes with stencils, so we're going to go ahead and move into the stencil portion of the video. This is that 6x6 background stamp. It's going to stamp out like the skeleton part of the leaves, and then you're going to fill that in with the coordinating stencils that are going to allow you to add 4 different layers of ink, because there are 4 different stencils. So let's take a look at the background stamp stamped in brown ink. You can see it's just the skeleton part of the leaves, and then we'll add the ink with the stencils, and I'll show you as I add each color and how it really brings it to life. What a fun background. So there it is, complete with 4 different colors. Of course, you could do shades of one color, however you want to do it, and you'll see some different ways it's used here with some cards from our designers. Like this next card where they've done stenciling with shades of blue. That is so beautiful. I think this makes for a gorgeous background. Next up, we have another coordinating stencil that coordinates with the beautiful bare trees. This stencil set is called Foliage Layers. You can see the etched lines are going to line up with each of the 4 stamped trees, and then you can add layers of leaves, 5 different layers, because there are 5 stencils, and each stencil has layering for each of those 4 trees. And layer number 1 also has a little ground cover piece. So lots of fun to be had with this stencil set. And here you can see this tree as I reveal each layer of that stenciling. So very pretty. Now don't limit yourself just to fall colors with this. You can do green leaves with maybe one of the layers pink for flowers. You could do winter trees and stamp them bare in black for Halloween. All right, we have another new stencil. This is a standalone stencil, and it is called Simple Daisy Bunch. It's a 2-piece 6x6 stencil set that lines up with each other, so you can make some really beautiful, quick and easy cards. There's also a few of the masks in this set, so you can add to the look by using those. Next, we're going to look at this as we stencil it. So I just did a couple layers of this bright purplish pink color, and then I'm going to do some green, and I like to use a light color of green and a dark color of green to really give it some dimension. And I did the same with the flowers, 2 different colors, but in one kind of opening of the stencil. It just brings it to life. So there's also a part on the stencil where you can do the centers of these flowers. So all you would need to do is add a sentiment to this, and it's ready to go. Just like these samples you're going to see here, some of our designers have added some dimension to their flowers with Copic markers as well. All right, let's take a look at our standalone dies. We have some amazing dies in this release. First up is the Apple of My Eye die set. You can see this is going to make a cute apple, and we've got a little worm that you can pair with it. He has glasses, and there's also a leaf and stem accent. You can make shape cards with this just by cutting one of the layers on the fold of a card, that base layer, and then you can see all the little pieces. There are the seeds, the glasses, and there's a little bump out on the worm where you can add the eyes, and he even has a little mouth. So there it is, all put together, but there is a coordinating stencil with this. That's why I am showing this as our very first coordinating die set, because we were just talking about coordinating stencils. So this is going to allow you to add an apple core, so we've called it the apple core add-on stencil. So you can do 3 different layers for the opening of the core of the apple and 3 different layers for the seed. So you can choose how many of those layers you want to add, or add all of them. So there you can see what it looks like, and I even love just a little hint of shadow on the seeds. It just makes them pop, right? So cool. Now there's another part of that apple core stencil that puts shine marks on the base apple, which would be the middle die in the Apple of My Eye die set. We have an add-on die set for the Apple of My Eye die set, which is a little bit spooky, and it is going to allow you to create some candied apples and some that even have faces. It's the creepy candy apple add-on, and you can see you can do caramel that drizzles from the top or a dipped look. So cool. And there's a stick you can add to this, and then we've got layered pieces that go together to create a face. So you're going to take the 2 drippy pieces and die cut them, and then there's eye pieces and a nose that you can add in there and just make this really creepy kind of 3D looking image. So I'm going to show you how that works right now. We have the 2 layers of caramel. You're going to die cut those from different colors and layer them up. I like to adhere these together and then die cut out the eye pieces. That way you don't have to worry about lining them up later. You want them lined up first, then die cut out your eyes and your nose. So I wanted to add a shadow because the die that cuts out the eyes and the nose creates a shadow piece for you. I decided to do mine in a darker green so it would look like a shadow that the caramel's making on the apple. The nose has a shadow as well, and there's even a little shadow piece that can go on the caramel. So I did the same eye twice so that this apple would look a little bit different than the other apple, the red one, and then I could put them together on a card. So let's take a look at some samples with this stamp set, stencil set, and add-on set, because there's so many fun things like this little scarecrow that you can do with this die set. I think that this might be one of my favorites from this release. It's so cute. You can really dress it up or keep it simple, which is what I love about this die set. And the worm, he stole my heart. All right, next we have our cool clipboard, which I showed you at the beginning of this video, and it is cool. It's really cool. 16 pieces in this die set. A lot of them are dies that are going to bring these pieces to life and really make it look realistic. Here I showed you all the die cut pieces. There's tiny little pieces that you can add to the pencil and the pen that really add those details, and the little binder clip. And there's a paper clip. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. The A has a plus, and there's shadow layers for the A plus. There's that notebook paper. We have our clipboard top, and we have our clipboard base, the metal part of the clipboard. And here you can see all those pieces put together. If you're trying to put this together, maybe you want to pause and check that screen out. Here's some samples by our design team so you can see them in action. That clipboard is just so very cute. I love it. I think it's really fun, and you could put a lot of things on there for different seasons as well. Next we have a single die set, our Dainty Ghost, as the really fun dainty scallop edge that we like to put on so many of our dies, and we thought it'd be so fun on a ghost. This die also creates pressed lines into the paper that look like the crease lines of fabric in this pretty little ghost. I love that it has those crease lines, but also I think it's fun with the scallops to layer another ghost behind it. It's going to fill in the eyes and the mouth, and then also give you the look of like kind of a 3D, the backside of that sheet, or maybe it's a tablecloth. Here's some samples so you can see this ghost on some cards. I think it is so pretty and so cute for Halloween. All right, next up we have our Eerie Eyes cut out die set. This has 9 pairs of eyes in the set, and you can use them all individually, but it's also really fun to spread these out onto a card base and make a background with them. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to show you each pair of eyes. We're going to lay it out onto this A2 size card front, and you'll see how all 9 of them fit on there really well, and it's going to create a unique and one-of-a-kind background because you can position these eyes however you like. Use as many of them or as few of them as you like. The other cool thing about this set is that you can use the eyes that are die cut out, and you can also use the negative piece, which is what we're doing, to create your background. So you can use both of the die cuts, which is fabulous. Here are some cards from our designer so you can see how fun and easy it is to make a card with this particular die set. All right, next up we have our Halloween sentiments. So these are going to cut out some letters for you, and then you can glue the letters onto the provided shadow layers. We have Happy Halloween, Trick or Treat, Spooky and Sweet, Fabulous, and the word your. So I'm going to back a piece of black cardstock with our rip and stick adhesive sheets and then die cut out all the words from that. Then I can easily adhere those down to the shadow layer and just use some fun colored cardstock for Halloween behind those black letters. You can also cut out the word and the shadow layer at the same time for a whole nother look. You kind of get this bubbly outline, and then you just want to save the fallout pieces and glue them back in, like the center of the A. And then you've got a different look with these, another way to use it, and you have also the letters you can use for something else. So here you can see a couple cards using this new sentiment set. I think it's a really fun set to add to all of the Halloween things that you have. All right, we have a really cool Slimline die. This is the pencil Slimline Die Set. There are 3 dies in this set. So you're going to have this main die here that's going to cut out all the parts of the pencil. You have a base layer and you have the lead of the pencil. So when you die cut out that main piece, you're going to get the 4 different parts. So you can see you're going to want to cut this from different colors of cardstock and paper piece it, or you're going to want to stamp it or die cut it from white and color it in. So the choice is yours. Now the big solid piece is so that you can layer up all those die cut pencil pieces. You could totally make this a shape card, or you could put it on a slimline card. It's, you know, choices, options. We love it. So here's one colored. Here's another one that has been ink sponged and turned into a box, a shape card, and a card on a slimline base. So you can see lots of fun with that pencil. All right, let's move on to our Scream and Sugar die set. This die set is made to go with our Very Cute Mug die set, which was previously released. And you can see now you can make some spooky little mugs using all the pieces in this die set to create different faces, and it also has words in it that says, would you like some Scream and Sugar? So cool. And there are embossed details on this particular die, which I think is supposed to look like brains. And there are shadow layers for all of the words, so you're going to die cut out the letters and glue them onto the shadow layer. So again, rip and stick paper is going to be your friend on the back of there. So you can see here how you are going to use the mug and the inner piece of the mug and the little elliptical piece from the Very Cute stamp die set, and then die cut out your pieces to create your spooky little faces and add them on. And you can easily make your mug shaped cards again just by using that solid mug die and die cutting it so one side is off the edge of the folded piece of paper. So you can see all the fun little faces. We've got bolts and stitches. We've got the drippy blood. We've got the little Frankenstein hair and the bolts, the stitches of the smaller ones, and there's a big one across the top. Oh, so many cool dies that you can just mix and match and make your own cute little monster. I think that is so much fun, and I think that kids would love to play with this as well. So make sure that you share some crafty time with someone little with these dies. All right, we have a very cool add-on for our Trinity treat box. It's the Spooky Treat Box add-on. Here you can see all the dies in this set. You've got everything you need to create a spooky little house right on top of the Trinity treat box, which you can see here. I wanted to show you just a plain one so you could see what it looks like if you're not familiar with this box. And then we can take a look at these new dies. There are 26 dies in this set. We've got the door that will open and the detail you can put on top of that. You've got two different windows, two different kinds of curtains, like nice curtains and ripped curtains, jack-o'-lanterns with pieces to back them, and one tiny jack-o'-lantern by itself. You've got little boards you can put on the window, a silhouette of a ghost, a silhouette of a witch. You've got shingles for the roof, accents for the stairs to bring them to life, and accents for the windows as well. So you can really get detailed with this. I love the tiny little lights on either side of the door. That's really cute. There you can see the pumpkins, or there's one pumpkin, one tiny pumpkin and two jack-o'-lanterns. And then you can see what the ripped curtains look like, cut from vellum. It's so awesome. And I love that the door opens and you can put a little something special behind there, a little surprise. And it really brings this treat box to life. And I think it's so fun to put a little treat inside of this box. And I love all the samples from our design team. They're so adorable. All right, we also have another apple die set that's called the Thank You Apple. It has two dies in this set, and you have a solid apple and then one you can cut away the paper, and it's going to leave behind the shape of the apple and the word thank you. That's pretty cool, and I think that it's going to be another one that's going to allow you to make quick and easy cards. So you can use these dies together, like I just cut out both, and then you've got this really delicate frame, or you could use the dies where you stack them up like this. Lots of choices with this die set. Also, when you die cut out the apple with the word thank you, you'll have fallout pieces for the stem and the leaf that you can paper piece back in. So that's really cool. I think it's a really fun way to make a shaker card as well, and great for teachers or really anybody, right? Apples are fun for fall. All right, so let's move on to our foiling dies. We actually only have one for this release, and it is gorgeous. Shimmer, script, thank you, foil, and cut. So you can foil the word thank you and then die cut it out with the coordinating die. It's such a beautiful font. It is a really nice size. It's going to fill up your A2 size card. I love that. It's so very pretty. And this is it die cut out. Isn't that gorgeous? This measures approximately 5 inches by 3 inches. So it really is going to fill up your card. And here you can see it on a few cards just to see the reference of the size it takes up. That's a 5 by 7 there. And then here diagonally across the card is so pretty. And I love it in black on this shaker card. All right, let's take a look at our new embellishments. We have 3 new confetti mixes, perfect for the Halloween season. We have our candy corn confetti, and then we have our bubbling cauldron in the green, and then the mix there is called Hocus Pocus. Really fun ones for the Halloween season. Next up, we are so super excited to bring you the new card making sketchbook designed by Tanisa, the owner of Trinity Stamps, for you to sketch, plan, and create. You can see inside this planner, you have some squares that have grid lines so you can plan out your card ideas. We're going to take a really quick look at this, but please know there is a full-length reveal video for you, and I have it linked in the description box below. This stencil is going to allow you or help you to sketch out your cards with all the different little shapes in it and the ruler on the edge. There are divided sections in this sketchbook for A2, A7, mini slimline, and slimline cards. There's also a guide for cutting mats for your cards on each of the different sections for each of the different cards that's color coordinated with the little display there. So you can see you have a place where you can sketch out a card idea. You can write down your different materials that you're using. Maybe you're using a specific stamp set and you want to remember the name, or you want to write down colors of cardstock, or maybe which embellishments you want to use. You can do that. There's also a little color palette section so you can keep track of what colors you used. So you can see each section has that little guide for cutting your mats, and then you're going to see that you have a place to do vertical cards and horizontal cards for each of the sizes. This is such a great tool if you want to remember a card idea and come back to it. Maybe you're watching YouTube videos and you get some great ideas that you want to replicate because you've been inspired. You can capture those here and you can always come back to them and always find them and remember what you used and how you put your card together. Here in the back we have some dot grid paper so you can do shape cards or any other style of creation you want to do. So check out the full-length video for more inspiration on how to use this book, and we have several designers that will be sharing videos with you so you can see how they're using the sketchbook too. So make sure to check out our Instagram for more details on this book as well. All right, we also have some freebies. We love to do gifts with purchase. So when you're shopping at the Trinity Stamp Shop for this new release, if you place an order of $35, you're going to get a fun little die set. Now, when this runs out, we have 5 other die sets. I have a sneak peek at another one that we'll start putting in with your order when these run out. There'll be more details as new ones are changed out on the website on the top of our shop, so you can check that out. Now, this release is live as of today, so be sure to check out the shop and find some new favorite things to play with. And if you like this video, let us know with a thumbs up. We'll see you all again very soon with inspiration with this new release. Happy stamping! Bye!